Hello everyone, I'm Anna and I'm here today to talk about a book. That book being The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Guin. This is an author that you probably will recognize because she's one of the most famous science fiction and fantasy authors there is. And you might as well recognize the title because it's considered to be one of the classics of science fiction. In particular, I have here the Penguin Galaxy edition, which is a series of science fiction classics that Penguin edited a couple years ago with an introduction by Neil Gaiman. Some titles that are part of this series are The Ones on Future King by T.H.Y., Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert A. Heinlein, Dune by Frank Herbert, 2001: A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke, The Left Hand of Darkness, of course, and Neuromancer by William Gibson. Anyway, this book is part of a trilogy, a loosely based trilogy called the Heinisch trilogy. The plot of this book is basically we follow our main character called Guin. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. Who is like an envoy from an empire of worlds that comes to this planet called Winter. And he's the first person sent, so he's called the first envoy, the first vehicle, and his mission is to convince the people from Winter to join the Ecumen Empire, which is an empire. It's not strictly an empire, it's like a confederation of worlds who unite all human worlds together for knowledge and commerce purposes. Winter itself is a very special planet because it's the only planet that is inhabited by hermaphrodite humans. The people native to this planet are neither female nor male, they are both in a sense. The majority of the month they are asexual, and during some very specific days they enter what they call Kemer, where they decide to be male or female and then they can mate. So the book shows Genli's personal and diplomatic troubles as he tries to get these people to trust him and believe in what he's standing for and join the Ecumen Empire. He also has to deal with a shock because he's very used to having the dichotomy of male and female, and it's very interesting seeing how he copes with not being clearly distinct genders in this society. There's also a special focus with the relation he forms with one of the noblemen from one of the kingdoms in this planet called Straven. So they have a very special bond, and it's a main part of the book how this bond develops and how they get to know each other and leave aside their prejudices. That being said, this is one of the first science fiction books I've read because I used to be very prejudiced about science fiction. Basically, I thought science fiction equals space opera, and that was my vision of the genre. Fortunately, in the last couple years I've changed this and I've been delving more into science fiction, so I wanted to pick up this classic that happens to be one of the favorite books of some of my friends. I really enjoy The Left Hand of Darkness and I have some very positive things to say about it. Mainly, the book is amazing. The world building in here is mind-blowing. Because this is not a very thick book. It might look like it because it's thick paper and stuff, but it's under 300 pages. In fact, it's like 252 pages long. And there's no like dumps of exposition or world building, like those kind of books that spend like 13 pages trying to explain something, only explain it. It's not like that. The world building is very woven into the story. It's like you start to get to know more things and you start to build your image of the world as you progress in the novel, and I loved it. I thought it was marvelously done and it was very interesting, and it didn't feel like in your face, here you go, this is the world. No, it was very natural and organically done, so I really appreciated that. Also, apart from the world building, all the science fiction elements in the novel are amazing. I really admire Lewin's imagination because from the biological things that, the people from Winter are like ambisexual and they enter like a kind of like Kemer phase and stuff, to the idea of the Ecumen Empire and the Confederation of Worlds and the trade and the space travel and stuff is very good. And also moving into probably more human element of the book, the relationship between the two main characters, Genli and Straven, is also greatly done. There's so much thought put into it and it feels so real at times. But alas, not all that shines is gold, and I had some issues too. This book is from 1979, I think, and for the time it was very, very revolutionary in its gender issues. Yeah, 1969. But today, as 2018, it falls short at some point. And that's probably my main complaint. Because, for example, one of the huge topics that it deals with is that since this society has no separation between genders, they are equally female and male, it's like trying to prove that really the differentiations in our society between the genders are stupid. But at the same time, the gender politics in this book are so fixed in the 60s. And for putting an example, whenever she refers to a character that has a female characteristic or attributes one of the winter native people a female characteristic, it's always negative. And that really threw me off because she's a woman writing about gender. And I know that it's the 60s, but even so, don't you have anything positive to say about the female gender other than beauty? Because it's either beauty or a negative characteristic that is associated with female. And then I'm gonna read you an example here because this is the easiest article. I think it's the first one in the book. So he's talking here. He says, "He was the superintendent of my island. I thought of him as my landlady, for he had fat buttocks that wake as he walked, and a soft fat face, and a prying spine in novel, kindly nature." Towards that point, it doesn't also help, and this is gonna be like non-constructive criticism because I don't have an answer for this. I don't have a great idea that will like make it better than it is, but sometimes it throws me off because all the winter native people, the Yenthenians, are described or are referred to with the male pronoun he. And I get it. I mean, calling them she will have been the same, or calling him he or she without discrimination will have been confusing, calling them they will have also been confusing, calling them it will be distracting from the plot. But since they are always he, in my head I always paint them as male and having a male physique, having a male appearance and a male voice and so on. So yeah, that's a kind of like not very constructive criticism because I don't know how it could have done differently. I'm just saying that it's an issue I had with the book. And now I'm gonna do a spoiler, so if you want to skip the spoiler, go to this time that I'm gonna show here behind. But if you read the book, you know what I talk about because there's a very disappointing moment for me in the relationship between Straven and Jen Lie, and that is, they don't do it. I think that it would have been so great and so interesting if the relationship between these two characters had been taken a step further. I would have loved to see that happening. I was very intrigued for the biological explanation, kind of like how will they do it, how will it work, and also because of the feelings, because for both Yanli and Straven see each other as an anomaly, as a sexual freak, and then being like one step further, it will have influenced both feelings so much. And also Yanli mainly sees Straven as a bro, you know, like he's my friend, like dude, and then like having that kind of relationship with him, it will have made him, I don't know, I would have loved to read about the impact it had in Yanli and both Straven if that had happened, but it didn't. Oh well. And I get why she didn't do it, because they are mainly friends and she wanted to keep the friendship pure, but at the same time, I think it would have been so interesting and it would have added another level to the development of Yanli's view on gender. Enough spoilers. So overall, I really enjoy The Left Hand of Darkness a lot. I'm still amazed at Ursula K. Win's imagination and way of writing, and it was great. And although I had some issues, for example, the genders are very dated, and I wish she had taken it a step farther in some parts, I still really recommend this book to anyone that's interested in picking it up or in science fiction in general. Like, seriously, go read it. It's great. Also, the introduction in this edition by Neil Gaiman is lovely, like all Neil Gaiman introductions are. So yeah, that was everything I had to tell you about The Left Hand of Darkness. I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!